West Station again. And it's looking very deserted, but we know that God has people designated today to be prayed with, to pray with us, to ask Jesus into their life, maybe to be healed, maybe to be delivered. We don't know. People have all sorts of issues in life that they need to involve the Spirit of the living God to intervene. He said, wherever two or three are gathered together in his name, that he comes in the midst. Now that's what we're about today. We're about talking to people when they finally arrive, but we know God will bring train loads, he'll bring bus loads, whatever it is. He knows what he's doing. We're here being obedient to him today again. So today I thought we might talk about love. It's a word that has a meaning, a very different meaning for a whole lot of different people. And we see the word bandied around, love is love, and we talk about honeymoon love, and we talk about rose-coloured glasses and people who can't get enough of each other for the first 12 months or whatever, however long the honeymoon period lasts. And we find that people fall in love. They say love at first sight. I mean, it must be a pretty fickle thing if all of a sudden you're madly in love with someone. But we think about love in different ways. We think of biblical love, we think of sacrificial love, we think of the love of God. So people, in their idea of love, twist, distort the word, make it their own. They steal the word and say, God will still love us no matter what we do. We create a God that suits our sinful nature, our sinful life, one that we can tolerate. Nothing to do with God. So we just had a slight interruption there. A train with about 500 carriages on it just went by and was very noisy, so we stopped for a moment. So we were talking about love and how people distort the word, distort the meaning of it, when love is such a beautiful thing. And you see instances of love in life. You see two young people meeting each other. They've got eyes for nobody else. It's all about that person is so wonderful. They can't do anything wrong. We can't spend enough time with them. We talk for hours. It seems like we were meant to be. And they fall in love. The very sad statistic in this world is that the divorce rate is somewhere between 50 and 60%. And when we drive past and we see people throwing confetti on a Sunday and all dressed in white, and the white hired Rolls Royces outside to take them to the reception, we see all that. And the sad fact is that half of them won't be married in 5 years' time or 7 years' time, whatever they call the 7-year itch or whatever it is. So that's the sad part about love. That's like a temporary love. It's like it's a beautiful thing, but it's not the love we're talking about. There are other instances where you see an older couple. They might be in their 80s. They're sitting together. They've been together for 50 or 60 years. They're looking in each other's eyes. They understand each other. There's a sustainable love between them. There's something that has lasted the time, the ups and downs of life and vicissitudes of life and all that hardship. Many have gone through depression, the Great Depression and other things, and they're looking at each other and they finish each other's sentences. They know each other so well. They've knocked the square edges off each other a long, long time ago, and they just know each other. There's a love between them. There's a sacrificial love between them. They would possibly give their life for the other person. And you find that when one of them dies, in many, many cases, in just a few weeks after, the other person dies as well. They don't want to live on this earth without that other person. This is the difference in love. It's not this love is love. It's not honeymoon love. It's not Netflix love. It's not all this stuff you see on TV or social media or whatever it is. It's this sustainable love that people can have but it's becoming, it seems, more and more rare in this world. But the true meaning of love is God's love. That's the real love that each of us can experience. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever, now that's a big word, whosoever. Think of what that means. It means that it doesn't matter where you've come from, doesn't matter what you've done, doesn't matter who you are. God loves you. Jesus died for you so that you could have everlasting life, that you do not perish. What a wonderful thing. That sort of love doesn't discriminate, it doesn't judge, it doesn't condemn, it saves. And this is why we come out on the street. The love of